G'day crew. Yeah, thought I'd do the video anyway because I'll take my mind off this bloody thing because it's making me feel sick. Yeah, so when to take a shot at a snapper, that's something that I really struggled with for quite a long time, and used to not know when to make the move, and that kind of buggered me up. Used to screw up opportunities and stuff like that, and yeah, then kind of just be kicking myself. And there's a few different factors, so I haven't really thought about this until now, so bear with me if I sit here and think of it. But there's a few different factors that sort of come into mind, and that would be probably how far away the fish is from you, what it's doing, if it's sort of alert or whatever, and the angle that the fish is on. The angle below, or if it's out further away on an angle facing away, when to make your move, because you really quite need the fish to be broadside ideally. So I'm just going to use a ground bait as an example, and then I think you probably convert all this over to bloody snooping a fish anyway. Mind you, you come over a ledge and then you catch a bit of a glimpse of a big snapper. Quite often you have to be pretty fast, because with snooping they kind of get onto you pretty quick. So hopefully if you've approached the ledge at the right height and you're sort of low enough in that kelp or whatever, and you're looking over, you have your gun either against your side and you can get to the handle fast enough, and I just make one big fluid motion and just bang, try to get the fish. Or sometimes I back up a little bit, and then, but you see them, they'll start to like flicker a little bit before they run. They kind of give a little bit of a wiggle when they know something's not right, and after that little wiggle, you have bugger all time to take the shot. That's when they're going to start going. So yeah, in that circumstance, you kind of just you're just trying to get it done really, and just knowing in yourself that you're hidden enough or whatever. Yeah. So sometimes you might, I'll just digress a bit, sometimes you might be snooping and you might catch a glimpse of a part of a nice fish, and then you'll want to pull back and then dive on the ledge so that you've got a better approach and have your gun sort of ready there. And extending and retracting the gun is pretty important. Having the gun pulled back is pretty important. When you're popping over ledges, yeah, rather than diving with your gun fully out and exposing the fish to your gun before you've got a good line of sight on them. But on the burley, so you come over and let's say there's a fish cruising up and down on the outskirts. You just see a good fish. That would be leave. Give it 5 minutes and re-dive it. Because the fish isn't really that friendly at that time, and there's no point in pushing off if they're out of range. If there's a fish sort of moving and gliding in towards the burley, what I'd do is probably if the fish is coming inward, I'd probably start to get the gun and get ready, because you want that fish to sort of, it might turn and it's sort of busy focusing on something different, and by the time it notices you might get a bit of a shot in there. Sometimes they might turn completely away, but then they don't run fast, and you can get, they're kind of cutting away on an angle, you can get a shot. I've done quite a few of those. You see quite a few of those in my videos. But if you've got a fish just cruising around on your ground bait feeding, what you want to do is go down, and then just, you're looking at the fish and you want to go, you just want to tick the boxes. Is that a reasonable shot where it is now? Is it broadside? And yeah, you kind of just watch the way that the fish is looking. So it's kind of like a bit like deer hunting. You kind of want to know where the fish is looking. So you'll train yourself over a period of time to sort of watch the fish's eyes. Is the fish spooked? Or watch their body language and see. Sometimes they'll dart and chase other fish, and you kind of think that you might have spooked them, but actually they're just racking up and chasing other fish around and having a bit of fun like that. That's something that they do, so bear that in mind. Sometimes it appears as if you spooked them, but it's not. But yeah, if you're really unsure and you've got a fish sort of cruising under you quite slowly, the best thing to do is you got to know where your breath's at. If you feel like you've got enough breath, get your gun ready and over and begin to make your move and push out towards the fish. If you feel like it's towards the end of your breath when you start seeing the fish, I normally redive, but make sure that you can get out of there cleanly without spooking anything, turning on the top of the reef and getting out. But it's if I feel like, I'm trying to explain it, but I feel like a lot of it is intuition and it's going to be learned by watching these fish. Sometimes you have ones where you just get that gun out and then you just think that it's all lining up well and then the fish will run, but like surprisingly fast. But sort of depends what's going on, how hungry they are, how many other fish are there, how fishy the actual spot is, if there's sharks and stuff around. Generally sort of solo fish can be a bit harder, but I've seen a lot of footage on the internet too of some stupid fish, particularly up in areas where there are, you know, really good numbers of fish. I've just seen some, and I've got footage of it too, just dopey fish that just let divers come off a ledge and just go right up to them. So it can be day by day, pre-spawn, you know, when they're just up towards spawn, that can be a bit dopier. But yeah, if you're really unsure, you just have to know that you're just going to have to learn it. But I've just taken the factor of how, if the fish is too low below me, I really hate moving on them. Sometimes I like them to be a bit out a bit further. But I will say this might give new divers a bit of confidence that you can sort of get that gun out and track them for a bit before they catch on, and they can almost kind of go, oh, something's wrong here, and then move into good position. You can actually sort of move them into a good position by not spooking them, but they'll go, oh, what, like there's a spear gun sort of aiming at me, and then they'll sort of turn, and so you don't have to fully worry that they're just going to bolt. You can sometimes put that gun over and then just track and wait for them to get into a good position before they run. And yeah, sometimes when you spook them, they'll also cut like away in a bit of a zigzag, but slowly, not a full run. And sometimes if you watch them when they pull back in on one of those sort of broadsides, you get a bit of a shot there as well. But yeah, it's just going to be a matter of learning it. But my probably the top thing I'd say would be just to gauge where you are on your breath at the time, and if the fish is in like what you think is a nice range and you've still got a good bit of breath, then yeah, I'd normally try to make a move, but you will fuck them up. Yeah, I've had some really big fish that screwed up. I think last season I had one, I reckon it was over 10 kilo, and the way that it sort of turned facing away, I put the spear right over the top of its head. And I also had a monster fish that I think would have been around 30 pound, probably maybe bigger, biggest snapper I've ever seen. Thought it was a shark at first, and it did this similar sort of thing, and when I hit it, the spear sort of went down the side of it. I thought it was a good shot, but just the way that it was sort of angling away like that, and yeah, that wasn't good. So yeah, I hope you guys got a little bit of an idea from that. It's quite hard for me to explain it, but it might give you guys a bit of confidence next time you're sort of sitting on a reef watching a fish, going, alright, I'm not going to hang back too long and bugger it up or get sort of stuck. It definitely does pay to make a move. Get your hand down to that handle and get up there, and don't be too afraid of getting that gun out over the ledge, because you know you're in an advantage if the fish doesn't know you're there yet, and then you've got a gun down there ready to go. And they're a big solid target, but you straight down below you, that's difficult. But a bit outward, when you got that width on them, or that depth, whatever the fuck you call it, top to bottom, that's the ticket. So just keep playing around with them, and hope you get some info from this video. And then next week I'm going to do, I'll have a bit of a chat about food, I think. Food and hydration. what I'd eat in the morning. And please let me know what other ones you want, because I can't make these videos if people don't ask questions, because I'm over 20 deep now, running out of things to say. But yeah, just let me know. So sweet. Hope you enjoyed this one. Sorry if I'm a bit raspy, it's fucking, this thing's painful, but I thought I'd get the video done anyway. So we'll see you on the next one.